You're listening to The Metal Experience.
Hello, hello. I
What's
am
up?
Morgan Danielle, and we are without Luco right now, but I do have an awesome fill-in. Our very own John McKenna is filling in as a guest host today.
How's it going?
And we are doing a bonus episode of the Metal Experience on a Sunday afternoon. So we're Facebook Live right now as we record. So hey.
What up, you guys?
And we are doing a bonus episode today with Pete, the co-founder of Forever Death Fest, and you also know him as the vocalist and guitarist for Bloodletter.
Greetings.
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 So the reason why we are here today, I sound like a robot in this. This is crazy.
I know, right?
I seriously feel like I'm in another dimension.
I know. Different acoustics, different
I'm not
mics,
used to
different
this.
setup.
Our show doesn't have this reverb. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, because it's a
freaking
nice
me out,
sounding
man.
acoustic environment.
It's beautiful.
It's
beautiful.
I feel very professional.
Wow.
Thanks for
Okay,
running the
cool.
board.
No problem. Yes, the board.
Well, the reason why, yes, reason why we're here today, we are here to promote the now less than a month away, 2-day amazing festival, Forever Death Fest.
Yes.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having an episode dedicated to the show.
I mean, I promised you this months ago,
Yes.
so we are here now.
But we're still stoked. We're nonetheless stoked.
Good. Well, let's get right into it.
Okay.
Forever Death Fest. What is it, and what does that name mean? Like, what are you going for? I've already stumped him. Did you see that look on his face?
Yeah, yes.
He's like, I don't know.
So I'll try to do this justice since sadly my partner Nick in the fest couldn't make it with us today, but I'm going to try to fumble through this as best I can for him. Forever Death Fest was an idea that came about pretty quick. It was a response to Chicago Open Air not happening this year. And Nick has booked tons of shows and has done Metal Shop and DJ'd at a ton of venues in the city and loves metal music more than just about anybody I've ever met. And we went and saw Exodus and Municipal Waste at Bottom Lounge back in like late February, early March. I think it was like the first week of March. And I, had mentioned, I'm still kind of bummed that open air is not happening. And he said, I know, me too. Wouldn't it be cool? And then I kind of finished the sentence for him, like if we booked our own thing. And we looked at each other, and then it just kind of seemed like, this is something that needs to happen. Nick had never booked a fest like this, neither have I. But between the two of us, we felt like we had the relevant and applicable experience to try to put together a fest. And it was going to be, do we do 1 or 2 days? Do we go for 3? Do we do a whole weekend? Like, how many bands? What bands? Where are we going to do this? And then Nick wanted to do it at a venue like Beat Kitchen or at Bottom Lounge or Sub T or something. And I said, well, I know the guys from Kickstand Production who are like the hallmark sponsor of the fest. They're working with us on promotion, and they decided to give us Beat Kitchen for 2 days. So we got the venue locked down because I know those guys, and they're fantastic to work with. Okay. Then we decided to approach the fest rather than have it be thrash or just death metal or hardcore or punk or whatever. We wanted it to be a little bit of everything. And I said, well, what if we just made it all Chicago? Let's highlight the best of Chicago. And my initial thought was, well, who could we get? Who might be available? Who would be around? Who's not touring? What could we get? And then Nick started doing all of his research and plugged all of his contacts and started looking at bands. And then he said, first off, I'm not doing this without Bloodletter on the bill. So I kind of reluctantly agreed because I wanted to help him book it, and now it's booking and playing it, so that's kind of fun. But I say that in the best way possible, Nick. Hi. If you're watching this, hi. I mean it because I love you. But anyways, he wanted to focus on just Chicago and really showcase the best of what Chicago has for metal. So we figured out the lineup, and we contacted the bands. We contacted some people who were on Prosthetic Records, and then Prosthetic Records, another hallmark sponsor of the fest, said, can we just have the second day and we'll provide the whole lineup? sure, like, like why not? Like that's a no-brainer for us. And they've been super helpful and really easy to work with, which has been fantastic. So we have a day one of November's Doom headlining. We've got Immortal Bird. We have What, Resin, Snow Burial, and Bloodletter. And then day two is the Prosthetic Records Showcase with the Atlas Moth as our headliner. We have Without Waves, Varaha, Huntsman, Zeus, and Meth. And if that isn't the most eclectic lineup you've seen, which fully reflects the entire Chicago metal scene, I don't know what the fuck else is. So we got 12 bands, 2 days at Beat Kitchen, and the significance behind the name Forever Deaf is we're celebrating the life of two massive figures of metal who probably were deaf and encouraged people to listen to their metal loud. Dimebag Darrell, Lemmy. So if you look at the flyer, you look at the shirt, you look at all of it.
It makes so much sense
You
now.
see, like, arguably the two loudest metal bands to have ever played, other than Manowar. Loudest metal band, just loudest band in general.
Testament's pretty loud, too.
Testament's pretty loud. Exodus is really loud, but think about it.
Yeah.
Motorhead with only
For
three
sure.
dudes, really loud.
Oh, yeah.
And Pantera had like 90,000 guitar cabinets on that stage.
Right.
And they played ungodly levels. And so we wanted to celebrate two fallen, gods and icons of metal. And, that was our nod to it. So I came up with the name, and then Nick was like, oh, if it's all Chicago bands and it's for Chicago and it's by Chicago, that's where that tagline came from.
Very
and then
catchy.
We were thinking, if everybody's going deaf, we're going to ruin your hearing one riff at a time. So destroying ears one riff at a time.
Yes, that's my favorite part of the whole thing.
Thanks.
The motto.
So yeah, we came together, we put this together and just had been working with a lot of really great people, and less than a month away. It's kind of nerve wracking, but it's really exciting. So
I mean, the
that's-
countdown has begun since you announced it.
Yeah.
It's been all the chatter, everything being shared constantly of this is, from the moment you released it, you were doing it in waves of what bands are being announced to have that anticipation.
Yeah.
Which definitely helped. And by the way, earplugs at the door would be great so people
Yeah,
don't
I got
actually
that.
go deaf.
I got that
Before I
covered.
forget to mention that.
I got that covered. I have like a Home Depot contractor size tub
perfect.
ready to
Oh,
go.
yeah.
So
Because I always forget that last minute of putting earplugs in my pocket. They are important.
your hearing doesn't last forever. You might as
No,
well
it
take
doesn't.
care of
Damn
it.
it.
Yeah.
But also, leading up to those 2 days, you have a sick pre-show
Yeah.
that you have booked at Livewire.
Yes.
That Thursday.
Correct. So we're kicking the idea around of having a pre-party show just because, there are so many bands in Chicago. So, I mean, like how do you whittle down from hundreds to
Right.
12? So we thought, well, as a warm up, like for folks who maybe might not be able to make it to either one of those days, or Thursday's their date night or their night out, or folks like to go out on weeknights, for everybody. So we went to a great kind of divey and well-worn venue for metal, which is Livewire. And I unabashedly love Livewire Lounge. And you guys have booked shows there too. The Metal
easy to
Experience
work
shows.
with.
Yeah.
Great sound, great people.
Great sound, cool people. So the pre-party, we can't announce all the bands yet because we're still working out a few of the details. But my
But
partner,
who you have announced are still fucking awesome.
yeah. So with Armored Assault and Repentance playing, we already feel like that's reason enough to go and check it out. But with the remaining two, it'll be even better. And if you've got a 2-day pass for the fest, it's free or it's just $10 to get in.
Which is amazing.
For
What a
4
great
bands,
deal.
that's
You,
not a
you
bad deal.
technically then are getting 3 shows for the price of 1 if you have a 2-day pass.
Yeah, the 2-day pass being $35 for 12 bands.
Very reasonable too.
Very reasonable. And then if you buy a 1-day for Friday, that's $20, and a 1-day for Saturday is $25. So you're
Yeah.
getting a ton of bands at a great value, at a great venue with great sound. They've got a great food menu at Beat Kitchen, great beer selection. It's in a cool neighborhood, easy to get to. Like, it's a no-brainer. Just come and party for the weekend and celebrate metal,
Absolutely. John, this is your first official interview on a mic with the Metal
yes.
Experience.
It sure is.
And I just want to point out this is the first time I've actually met you in person.
It is, and it's wonderful.
We've
to
talked.
meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
But you know what? The cool thing is it feels like old
It does.
friends.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
from the
we have a
moment that
bond.
we were talking when I had John, when we had a conversation over the phone after he had submitted his application for a writer, I was like, he's a good fit, and he's got a lot of information too, being a musician, and I liked that. So you had a bunch of questions prepped. So why don't you get into it a little bit?
Wait,
right.
real quick though, there's an application to be on the Metal Experience.
I had to make it official.
like relevant work
Not
experience.
just anyone can get in. on
Not
this.
just anybody.
Not just anybody.
Well,
Not
I
anyone.
figured, but the fact that there's a job application.
Well, I used
that is stringent, and I love it. It's
well, the
strict and
Facebook
fair.
actually has that option of if you're looking for like jobs, you can apply through a page, and,
Sure.
and I put it together, and I was like, this is a voluntary position, and I need writers because we get a ton of submissions, and there's a lot going on that I can't keep up with. So
Sure.
I started it last summer. I found Jenny Holland through that, and then Paulie B from Sound of Fire, who also did that. And then when I wanted to do it again this year, I got more hits the second time around. I had a couple others last year that applied that didn't work out, but found 2 great writers in that process. And then this time around, I found 3, which is great.
Awesome.
So John had applied, and then we have Elijah, who's in Mouth of Sauron. And
What a great
he's-
fucking
I
band
know,
name.
right?
Holy hell.
Tribute to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Couldn't be better.
couldn't.
But yeah, we've got a great team now, and we're constantly growing. So
That's
John was
awesome.
just one of the ones that had submitted, and I was, all for it. So, and he came prepared. He was asking questions all the way up to of like, I've got all this stuff going, and he's excited and nervous, and I'm like, it's cool. It's
No-
also kind of funny because I'm like, there's nothing to be nervous
No
about.
need to be
You're just
nervous.
sitting down with
just,
Pete.
yeah, just friends hanging out talking
Right,
about metal.
just a
so.
casual conversation, the way that I like it to be, no
Right,
pressure.
right.
He's like, what did you prep? I'm like, nothing. I've got nothing. I just do the same thing every single week. I'm a pro after 7.5 years.
By not prepping.
By
you
not prepping.
have prepped.
I,
in its
I
own way,
mentally,
that is prepping.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like that mental strain of everything that I have to ask and everything, because things don't always go as planned, and
No.
I just like to go with it. The only
it.
time that I've ever really prepped questions was when we were interviewing Cryptopsy, and I did all that prep because I didn't know so much about them, and Luca was a huge fan.
Yeah. They're sick.
And then it ended up me doing the whole interview because Luca was so awestruck.
Yeah.
And I'm just like looking at him going, are you going to fucking say something? Oh, I listened to you when I mowed my lawn. Stop. Just stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, Luca. Just,
I'm just like, I just started listening to them, and here you are being a fan for
grab
15
a Zima
years.
Luco and
yeah.
just kick back
Zima
and
it
hang
out.
out. Zima it out.
Yeah. That's just going to be the same. But John, please
yeah.
talk.
So yes, I did want to ask you something about. I notice all of these bands, they're all a little bit different here and there from what I listen to. What would you like to say about the variety of the bands that we have on this festival?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like there are certain fests or shows that, like, you look at the bill and you already know what you're going to get right away. We were going for a variety that reflected not just certain types of metal. We wanted all of these eclectic subgenres to be represented, because everybody can go, oh, that looks like a thrash band, that looks like a death metal band,
Just
that
from
looks like
looking at
whatever,
them.
just from
Right.
looking at a logo. And we wanted to kind of throw curveballs at everybody, because when we announce the lineup, everybody can look at a flyer and go, oh, and draw certain conclusions
Right.
before they've even listened to the bands. But then they can go and listen to all of these bands and go, whoa, fuck, this is really different.
Right.
So we wanted something that represented the massive variety of Chicago metal, because there's just every scene, every subgenre, every type of metal is represented in this city, and we feel like it's not gotten its due, and Chicago needs to get its due.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, that's pretty much like what we were going for. Like the mission statement of the fest was show the best of what Chicago has to offer, and that doesn't mean it's one kind of metal. That's every damn damn kind you can figure out.
Very much, pretty much just every single kind. I noticed Resin, you can say, is more of a stoner rock, if you will, kind of band, or laid back.
Like laid back, kind of like, I mean, with that saxophone and like all of the weird ambient textures they've got going on, like you can just totally space out to an album, and it's really, really awesome for that.
And it just goes from that to going to what, and that's just a complete world of difference in between.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
I mean, like, it's all about peaks and valleys, right? Like a roller coaster.
Right.
Like you don't want one track for an entire fest because then people can tune it out and get bored.
Oh, yeah.
We want people to show up and get their money's worth and have a great time. So you might as well start with fast and loud, then bring it down to more ambient, like odd textures or, like soundscapes almost as metal is being played. And then you get something really heavy and something really gnarly, or you get some death metal, or you get some crossover stuff. Just so that way it piques your interest with every band.
Exactly.
Because like you don't want to watch. It's like watching the same fucking movie every day. Like even if you still like that movie, you might be on your phone, you might be doing something else. It might just be background noise. None of these bands are background noise. They are there to get your attention, so that way you have the best fucking time. That's why like the lineup's the way it is.
The Forever Death Fest guarantee.
Yep. Destroy your hearing and have the best fucking time. And harass my co-founder, Nick, to have a shot with you and just relax, because he's been a ball of stress all wound up since he put his name on this thing. He's like, oh my God, this is my baby. And it's like, yeah, and you're going to take its training wheels off and here it goes, bud. Like, I won't admit to him face to face that I've ever been nervous, because I've never been nervous.
Who's got time for nerves?
Nah, I don't
John.
know. I don't know.
But let's play a couple tracks. I think that a great starter would be what John just mentioned, Resin and What, just to show kind of like that two different genres that are complete opposites of each other to start off.
Yeah, let's play them. We'll do it back to back.
A twofer.
Is that?
Is
Oh,
what
you
we'll
call
say.
them twofers.
We call them twofers.
Twofers.
On our show, it's called a twofers.
It's called a twofer.
What do you call it?
I guess a twofer, now that I think about it, because I don't have anything
It
better
just makes
for
sense.
it. No, I got nothing better. But okay, so then as far as the lineup goes, we're gonna play Dread by Resin, and then Goddamn Waste by What?
Goddamn waste.
Goddamn Waste.
We're back! And we're back! Well, once again, I am Morgan Danielle. John McKenna is on as the co-host today.
In the house.
In the house. Literally, we are in Peter's apartment. Thank you for hosting this today.
No problem.
It was awesome.
We'll
It's
change
good
the
to be
scenery.
out of the bar scene and to chill and to just
little different.
yeah,
homey
I like it.
environment.
I know. We got a lit fireplace. We've got
We do.
cocktails.
It's very cozy.
I want people to feel cozy.
I like it.
I'm
You're a
wearing my
great
house
host.
slippers.
Yeah.
So why can't we all be cozy?
See, you didn't offer me slippers.
Do you
so
want
guest-
to wear my slippers?
No, I don't need guest slippers.
I should have gotten some. I fucked up.
You should have told me how cozy it was going to be, and I would have brought slippers.
Do you want a onesie?
No.
You could wear a T-Rex onesie.
Oh my God. Maybe I'll try that on.
You could. You could. You
Just to
certainly
say
could.
I tried on a T-Rex koozie.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, we just heard two bands playing Forever Deaf Fest on day one. We heard
Yes.
a track by Resin and we heard a track by What.
Correct.
And What is very iconic for the Chicago scene. They've been around for a while too. Resin, I'm new to hearing because of this fest. So
Yeah.
props to you. You introduced me to a few
yes.
new bands because of this festival.
Yeah. That's that's the general idea. Get bands that people haven't readily listened to or heard of a lot.
That's the overall goal.
Yeah,
of the whole
it's just
thing, to
just
showcase.
celebrate the
local
unknown of
Chicago
Chicago.
music.
You make strong drinks.
I don't mess around.
Shit.
I mean,
We might need some food later.
we can add a little ginger ale in there. Well, we might.
That's all
Hey,
good.
speaking of food, we might be able to go to one of our
Oh my
sponsors.
gosh. Kuma.
Yeah, Kuma's Corner graciously and most generously offered to sponsor the fest, and
Which is fucking awesome.
yeah, they'll be doing a percentage off everybody's bill if you show them your ticket from the fest from Thursday, the day of the pre-party, all the way through Sunday of that weekend. And they're doing
That is cool.
And they're also doing a Forever Deaf burger,
Oh my God.
which we can't say what's on it yet. But
Damn it, I've
Okay, I
got
was
so
about
many
to ask what was
questions.
on
I'll give you a clue.
Okay, clue.
Think Chicago. And
It's a
you've
Chicago
got
hot dog.
no.
It's a
That's
hamburger.
actually
beef.
that's the Goblin Cock.
There's a beef.
That
Oh.
burger
An
exists
iconic
already.
Chicago beef burger.
The what?
Just
The Goblin Cock?
the Goblin Cock has the
Wow.
Chicago hot dog on it. So I'll
How do you
eliminate
feel
that.
when you say that? Because the look on your
I don't
face
know how
was.
I would
I'll
order
just
that.
say I'll eliminate the Chicago hot dog angle from that because it's
That's
not
okay.
it's not on our burger.
Okay.
So just think about what's quintessential to Chicago.
Do you only get a burger or do you get a mac and cheese of the month too?
That I don't know. We haven't discussed that yet. Honestly, if it's just the burger, that's way more
Yeah,
than
no,
we
that's
deserve.
still very, very cool.
And that's really fucking cool.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna take
Cheers-
what we can
cheers
get.
to that, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Oh, cheers
thank
to
you.
that.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So let's talk a little bit about the Kuma's collaboration here. There's one in the city now. Obviously, there's one in Schaumburg.
Yep.
There's the Indianapolis one, and then there's the one that they just opened in Vernon Hills
And West Loop.
and West
as well.
Loop. Yes. Are these all going to be a participant in this, or just the city one?
I think the main goal is to have Corner be the keynote sponsor of the fest because that's just down the street from Beat Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a mile and a half up Belmont from Beat Kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and because it's that's the original Kuma's, like that's OG Kuma's. It's been
Right.
there since they've opened, and they've never not kicked ass. Like they've done that. That's the one thing that you want, that one track mentality to. You go to Kuma's because the music's loud, drinks are strong, they got a lot of good beers, and the burgers are fucking huge. And
Just
they're
making
delicious.
me super hungry just talking about it.
I know, right? I'm famished. I'm famished as well.
And he's getting me so focused with his hand signals of like, look here, Kuma's Corner, burgers, beer, macaroni and cheese in your face, Kuma's Corner, bitch.
Duh.
These
So
drinks are talking through me now.
that's perfect.
Shit.
Perfect. Well, I mean, you had a whole energy drink, so
did.
you're hopped up.
I do, yeah.
You
I stopped.
these kids and their
Monster
energy
and
drinks.
Rockstar are kind of like borderline now, get me a buzz, but the Bang energy drinks now with the more caffeine. Once I start,
That stuff's dangerous.
I'm wired. I'm on my way here, and I'm just like,
Wired.
okay, I'm pumped. Let's
Ready to go.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I'm too hyper.
I'm just
Calm
gonna,
down.
I'm just gonna stick with my my mug of black coffee.
Cum coffee.
Yeah, the cum
Cum
mug
coffee.
of For those of you playing along at home,
It's full of cum.
it's that's the
Delicious.
creamer, right? What? Anyway. Oh boy.
I said it just to catch you off guard.
Oh,
it's
thank you.
okay.
Thank you. No, that works. You're keeping
And
up with
we're
the grand
back.
tradition
And
of.
we're back. Thank
and-
you,
yeah.
John. He's
And we're back.
He's got the right idea.
He's
Off
the
that topic.
he's the lifeguard of the show.
Yeah. See. All right, John.
Yeah. So why don't
This
we go
guy's
ahead and talk
professional
about?
notebook and everything.
Oh yes. Why don't we talk more about the other sponsors involved with the festival?
Yeah. I'm just completely flabbergasted still that we are even sponsored at all, let alone we have more than one.
You got some
You
big
got a
names
list.
on there.
Yeah, we got a whole rundown of sponsors. The fact that Kickstand Productions and as we sponsor Forms They Take on Morgan's Koozie.
Oh, yes.
So
Bloodletter.
Kickstand Productions, these guys book at multiple venues in the city, Sub T, Beat Kitchen. They've got Gabe's out in Iowa City. Number of venues. Super friendly, easy folks to work with. Huge props to John and Dave from Kickstand. They've been so accommodating, and they're promoting the fest, and they're helping us put it on. The fact that we have Emperor Cabs, like probably the one that I see the most around the country, like they've made amazing gear for bands who want to be loud as fuck and sound really good. And it's all handmade guitar cabinets, and they used to make some drums. So they've provided the whole back line for both
See
days.
that? I didn't know that they made drums before when you told
They
me
did, yeah. It was like a limited thing. I don't know if they still do, but for a few years they made drums as well, which is amazing because the craftsmanship that goes into their guitar cabinets and all that, and bass cabinets in their drums, like that was mind blowing. So they're generously providing the whole back line.
And that's very cool.
Drums, bass, that makes logistics for the show so easy. So everybody's got the same amount of gear. Headliners can bring their own drums if they want, but for everybody else, that's just like, changeovers are short. People aren't getting too bored in between bands. You get enough time to go get a beer, and then you go right back in there and wreck your
It
necks.
just moves like clockwork.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. We've got as we've mentioned, Kuma's Corner, doing the
Right.
burger, helping our, ticket holders out with discounts on their bill. We've got War Pigs Brewing is providing beer for the bands in the green room.
Delicious.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, super, super good. If you haven't had a Lazarite yet,
I don't think I have.
do yourself. We might be able to go get one later today.
After the show.
Yeah, we probably should. And just the fact that this whole list, for those of you at home, it's like this much, and then it goes over, and there may be more as well. But I think most significantly is the fact that day 2 is completely sponsored by Prosthetic Records.
And
Which
that's
is
very
huge.
cool as well.
Yeah, a label, a big metal label with a collection of bands that's reflective of many different subgenres. They're a sponsor of the fest. That's been a treat to work with them. Another really storied Chicago sponsor, specific Chicago, Shure Incorporated, the folks that we're using the mics for, and is my employer by day. They graciously agreed to do some product giveaways for the fest. And because they've been in Chicago for 94 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you think about live music and you think about broadcast and you think about all these different...
And then a microphone has been around for almost 100 years.
Right. Yeah, that technology
Mind
has been around for a long
blown.
time, and these guys have been making some of the most durable stuff that's been on stages for touring and a lot of metal bands
For
use the Shure
generations.
stuff. Yeah, for generations of music, which is really cool. We recently just got Pie-Eyed Pizzeria involved, so they're going to be doing catering for the bands at the show, and they're doing a Forever Deaf pizza.
What?
Yeah, so they'll be doing that soon. We're going to be testing that out, I believe,
Testing.
tomorrow. We're actually, yes, we should be going by there tomorrow to check
You
out.
should have just
and
had
taste
him
test.
deliver one today.
I
would
know.
have tested that.
I know.
Just put it in front of me.
we could do that. I mean,
Let's call him up right now.
I just
Put him on speaker.
I just don't want to leave anybody out. There's so many good sponsors. And the fact that like Nick's group, Metal Shop, that put on all these events in the city, DJ sets, and all these just the connections that they've made with bands and with venues is fantastic. And then a good friend of ours, Mike Galati at Modest Merch.
Oh, yeah.
He does merch for tons of bands. He's done it for Bloodletter, for pretty much since we were a band, since we started. And he did the Forever Deaf shirts, which is really
are
cool.
fantastic looking.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get you each one at the end of the recording. today.
Awesome free merch.
Yeah. So I mean, you get a collection of sponsors who are predominantly local, who support the hell out of the show and have been gracious and congenial with their time and everything. You can't ask for more. Like, everybody's just jumped right in. They've been, all in, ready to go. What can we do? How can we help? And this is a great idea. So yeah,
it came together.
Yeah, and to everybody who sponsored the show, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot say that enough. Yeah.
It's beautiful how it all came together like that. All these people putting in work.
It's been a wild 7-8 months, but it's all come together. It's all coming together.
1 month away.
Less than.
A month
Today's
away.
the 11th.
Yeah.
Veterans Day, by the way. Thank you for all who have served and continue
Thank
to
you,
serve in our
veterans.
armed forces.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So let's play a couple tracks from Prosthetic Records Band, since we mentioned that day 2 is going to be sponsored by them.
Sure.
Okay.
Close to our heart because they're friends. They've been on our show. Let's play Varaha and Zayas.
Sure.
Zayas was on our show last week too. So both bands, fantastic, super nice. We had a blast and can't wait to have them back on our show. And both are just fantastic live and sounding too. So
I mean, you really do get, like, they suck you in with
absolutely.
their show. It's awesome. And the fact that they're a part of the fest is really, really cool, because you're not just getting music. You're getting, like,
The experience.
you're getting an experience that band, those bands.
the true
are-
metal
Yeah.
experience.
Oh, nicely
see?
done. Yeah.
By the way, drinking game, I've noticed I said fantastic a ton of times.
Keep it going.
Play a drinking game, rewind the
going.
video or the audio, and play
Right.
how much you'll get drunk when I say fantastic.
So,
It's fantastic, guys.
right? It's fantastic. So we're gonna play Magnolia by Zayas, and then we're gonna play Cubicle by Baraha. So,
So
let's,
good.
Let's cue those up.
What great tracks we just heard. I'm Morgan
Yes.
Danielle. In case you didn't know that already, John McKenna is co-host today, filling in for Luco Blaze, who
I am Luco
unfortunately
today.
can't. Yes, this is my
Are
sub in
you,
for
though?
Luco. I don't know.
Do you want to be Luco?
Can you be as cool as Luco? Could you be cooler than Luco?
He's already.
I could give it a
as
I don't
cool.
know. He
He's
showed up
as
today,
cool.
so that makes him
He showed
more
up.
cooler.
I won't promise I can.
Wait,
be cool
definitive
like him.
question. Do you drink Zima?
No.
He doesn't know what
He
Zima
is cooler
He gave
than
me that
Luco.
look.
He is cooler
Because he
than Luco.
doesn't drink Zimas?
Yes.
Epic.
That's like asking if somebody enjoys Smirnoff Ice. Get out of my house.
Damn it, Peter.
What?
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah. Mike's Hard
That's the
Lemonade.
boundary?
I'll allow that.
Smirnoff Ice isn't as good. I'll
No.
agree.
See?
Yes, Mike's is better. That Mike's watermelon lemonade that came out in the summer is
Oh, yeah.
delicious. I'll just put that out there. Drink one or two and you won't get a headache. Drink a whole 6-pack like I tried to. It leads
It's all the
into a
sugar, right?
terrible
Terrible. To quote
hangover.
Charles Barkley, it's terrible.
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 Well, we played two more amazing tracks from bands featured on Forever Deaf Fest. Zayas, who joined us last week, Tuesday, and Baraha, who
Yeah.
was on not too long ago with us as well.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing, amazing bands. Fantastic drink. So, John, I'll let you take it away. You've got more questions, and this is your official first interview on air. So,
Yes.
I'll
the
just sit here
debut.
and drink.
So, with a festival as big and as cool as this, with all these amazing bands and sponsors,
Aw.
I wanted to see maybe if this is something you wanted to turn into like an annual event and bring it back and keep it alive.
Bring it back, bring it back. Sounds
Yeah.
like he's trying to
On
do
the-
a
on
rap
those-
song
on
there.
those moves,
Bring it back, bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, if the fest is, as successful as we hope it will be, and we've got high hopes because the lineup's really good, the location's cool, like all of the aforementioned circumstances have lined up.
Right.
If we can grow this into an annual event, we'd love to do that. Grow it into multiple venues,
yeah.
like a similar, like an idea, like a big inspiration for what Nick and I have been doing is Maryland Death Fest. If you think about that, you're getting 3 or 4 venues and like 40 bands over 4 days. It's absurd. It's awesome, and you can go from venue to venue and just see all of these
Well, Riot Fest
ridiculously
does stuff
cool
too
bands.
like that.
Yeah, they'll have like after parties and pre-show
Yeah.
things at other venues, and then they have the main event at was that Douglas Park now? But imagine like multiple venues on the same weekend, and there are like there's an early show or like sub T. You have a band downstairs, then a band upstairs, and it keeps alternating across multiple days. Like ideally, I think if we could grow this into an annual fest and then book some other shows throughout the year as like Forever Deaf Productions.
Which
And-
you would obviously be looking for maybe more staff because multiple
Yeah.
venues calls for multiple
Oh yeah,
manpower.
like we would have, more people would be involved. Obviously, logistically speaking, that has to happen. But the big idea or the first stepping stone after this year would be: can we do it again?
Right.
Can we do another venue? Can we have more bands throughout the year? Can Forever Deaf Productions book bands from out of Chicago and from out of state and bring them in so that way they can be a part of what Chicago's doing with Chicago bands?
Now,
Very cool.
I love that idea, but would that take away from the motto "For Chicago, by Chicago, all Chicago"?
Not necessarily. If you think about it, being booked by
Two
a
people.
transplant to Chicago
Okay.
and a Chicago native, it's by Chicago. The bands will still be involved with the Chicago metal scene, all Chicago.
Right.
And it's
Okay.
happening here in town. So it's for Chicago, by Chicago, all Chicago.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously looking at it from a different angle, but it's still metal, and it's metal bands that could be coming from out of state.
Well, and that's where I
or
wanted to
other-
elaborate is if you were seen as it's strictly Chicago, Illinois, or
Yeah,
branching
or-
out if that would mean.
I think you
Yeah.
could spend years trying to get every Chicago metal band possible, but
Yeah.
the idea
Insane.
is if we can grow this, why limit like we don't want to close off any possibilities. We want to make sure that we have ample opportunity with a variety of bands, and if other bands from out of state or from other countries want to play a Forever Deaf event, why not? It's still here in Chicago by guys in Chicago who want to make it happen for Chicago. So why not?
Yeah, so that is like more of like you would look at it with a different perspective rather than like just local bands from Chicago for Chicago. It's bands coming to represent Chicago.
Exactly. To be a part of Chicago.
Right.
To be involved in Chicago.
That is something that I think that our city has been lacking over the years. I mean, I get open air is a huge thing, but
Oh, yeah.
no offense to them, but they're booking the same type of bands that play every single festival. They're booking the bands that would come in on an off date. They're booking bands that have all the hype, and it's all these bands that people have seen continuously over the years all get put on the same type of festival. It's not something that like Maryland Deaf Fest does or the Massachusetts scene does, where they have the 2-3 day festivals with a variety of different bands featuring.
I mean, another local fest, Domination Fest. Like they get a bunch of other bands from all over the place.
Right. And that's what I think you guys have done, is create something that has been missing from the Chicago scene. Is there's Spring Fest, which happens in April, that Tony Fackley put together, which is awesome, which is all like more of the suburban bands out toward that way. But definitely something has been missing in Chicago, where it features a ton of these more underground bands that you don't see playing as often every single weekend.
Absolutely.
Not that that's a bad thing, but there's so many bands that need help being exposed, which you have done. I mean, like I said, there was bands on your festival that I had never even heard of until I saw their name, which was awesome, because it was like, that's who I need to look up. That's who I want to see before we go there, so I know what to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the long-term goal. Can we keep doing this and keep exposing people to new bands that they've not heard before? That's the dream. That's the plan.
Right.
And hopefully grow it into other venues, with more people becoming involved, and see what we can do. Just and take it as far as we can without becoming too like thin or watered down. Like we don't want the mission statement of the fest to change. We would never want that.
It's a very original type thing that you're trying to do here, and I think it's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, we appreciate that, and just the amount of support for that idea on its own that's probably the most rewarding part.
Right. That's very cool. Well,
we still have a ton more music to play. Believe it or not, there's 12 bands playing. We've played 4 tracks already. I want to play another 2 first, so we make sure we highlight each band on this before we get into more hard-hitting questions for making Peter sweat.
Oh, great.
So let's have you take your pick. What do you want to play?
Oh, shoot. I would actually really be down to play the 2 headliners. Let's do Atlas Moth and November's Doom. Let's get them in the mix.
Very iconic to the Chicago metal scene for sure.
Yeah.
November's Doom has been around since
91
yeah.
at least.
Wow.
And they've been at it for a long time. They've been making these I mean this as a compliment, just like depressive, heavy, just stark, bleak songs, but they're really well arranged, and they do it with melody and with heaviness equally.
Okay.
And then you have a band like Atlas Moth, where if you try to describe them, you're already missing the point. Like, I mean, they do have elements of death metal and like progressive, and there's melody, but it's just heavy as shit. And, you can't quite put a finger on them, which I think is great, because they defy a genre, like a subgenre label in itself. They're a metal band. That we know.
Right.
How do you interpret this? We don't know. That's up to you. That's up to the people who come to the fest.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mystery. They're mystery metal. We'll call it that.
Mystery metal.
Ooh,
So
we're creating new genres along those too. Mystery metal.
mystery metal. So yeah,
Are they heavy? Are they soft?
We'll never know.
We'll never know. So maybe we'll try to know, because we're gonna play Coma Noir by Atlas Moth.
Sounds French.
It's very French, maybe. The word noir, anyways.
Noir.
And then we'll do Plague Bird by November's Doom, if that's cool.
Sweet.
So yeah, you listen to Atlas Moth and you try to define their genre. What do you think they are?
You tell us.
Yes.
You be the judge.
With Facebook Live, you can type it.
You could comment right now.
Comment. What is Atlas Moth?
'Cause we don't
what type
know.
of metal?
What are they to
What do
you?
you think?
What are they?
Question mark.
bloodletting straight from the heart, heavily waxed and sealed from the air. The vile presence burns the lungs. Rise, the stench of black death. Rebalance the humors that bind. This air is poisoned with the past. My heart bleeds in misery. To hide my eyes from the truth. Far from this life I knew. Drape of lies embrace the soul, distracting sight from forward growth. Seen through the eyes of the plague bird, bloodletting straight from the heart. This air is poisoned with the past. My heart bleeds in misery. To hide my eyes from the truth. Far from this life I knew. Aromatic plume blankets the cold. Mourn with a consumed air. This air is poisoned with the past. My heart bleeds in misery. To hide my eyes from the truth. Far from this life I knew.
I was wondering when that reverb was going to end. I was like, damn, I'm ready. And it's still going. Woo!
Just that sustain, so heavy.
So heavy.
So much
That
reverb.
was the Atlas Moth and November's Doom. Two amazing bands playing the festival, each headliners for their dates.
Yeah.
November Doom playing Friday, and the Atlas Moth headlining the Prosthetic Records date that Saturday at the
That
Beat
is
Kitchen.
correct.
So this is the bonus episode, Metal Experience. This is the Forever Death Fest episode. It's a Sunday afternoon.
I still can't believe you wanted to do this and dedicate an episode of
Why
Metal
not?
Experience to the fest. It's just
I
like,
don't do-
You guys do a ton of fucking shows and like have a ton of bands on, and I'm sure you get requests all the fucking time. And it's just
Absolutely.
like, no, we'll do that for you guys.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, and
oh.
you can also run sound, which has been a huge help because I run the board on the nights that the bands are at the bar with us. So the fact that you had all the equipment here that I only had to provide a little bit of material was great.
That's
so,
the only reason we're doing the show, because you're doing sound.
Oh, shut up.
Damn. Now,
day off for
You're
her.
not
truth
there
is
at
out.
Tuesdays, John.
the truth is heard. The truth
No,
is told.
I seriously though, when you called me early in the summer, or maybe it was end of spring, when you told me originally about this idea, I was all for it. I was on board, and I want to do everything that the Metal Experience possibly could to help promote leading up to that, because this
which
is
we appreciate
absolutely
immensely. by
Yeah,
the way.
we definitely want to help, especially stuff like this where it's an independent festival that it's ran by people that we call great friends of ours, and we want to see it succeed, and we want to back it because there's so many good things that could come out for it during and after the fact, and hopefully more shows to come, which is what we want to see. We wanted to see Forever Death Fest become an annual event. That was definitely the whole
the goal.
mindset
That's the
of us going,
dream.
yes, we're on board. We want to see this happen. So whatever we can do, let us know. So that's what led us up to this point, because I was like, hey, we're a month out for the fest. Let's fucking do this. Whatever we got to do. We've got the videos going on Facebook. I'm going to try to get this camera footage that I've been doing with my Nikon going, but at least there's audio and some visual right now that we have in order to promote that now.
Yeah.
Being less than a month out, you're talking, a depressing winter in the city, that you have something to look forward to before the holidays.
Yeah. Just something to build you up and get you through the winter blues.
Oh yeah,
It's an
nothing
early
like
Christmas present for moms and dads everywhere. Just bring them to the show.
They'll love it.
2-day
your,
passes.
Bring your grandma.
Bring your family to
Forever
the
Death
fest.
Fest is a great early Christmas present.
It is. It's a great stocking stuffer that you don't have to put in a fucking stocking, because
Feel like,
digital tickets are a thing.
You want
so
to
you can
spend
just-
time with me? I'll see you at the show.
Yeah. Grandma's only going to see your family if you're at the show with Grandma in the pit. Hitting people with her cane, throwing down shots.
Turn
with
those
Tanner.
hearing aids
yeah.
up.
Or rather, take them out,
That too.
because you're already
you
deaf.
won't need 'em.
You won't need them. Built-in hearing protection, I guess.
There you go.
So bad. I'm going to hell.
But
If hell is a thing, I'm there.
I'll join you.
Cool. Very cool.
oh yes, in all seriousness,
We're
have
not serious here, John. We're never serious.
Okay. In semi-seriousness.
the most
Semi-seriousness.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
In semi-seriousness, then.
In semi-seriousness,
John's a professional.
Yes.
I'm not.
He's nailing it. He's nailing it.
He came with a notebook. I came with nothing.
but here we go. So we have Peter from Bloodletter here, and Peter's band is going to be playing on day one. Are you finishing the day one?
We're kicking it off, actually. We're the
They're
opener.
kicking it off.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're the first thing that'll scare people
It's
out
a bold
of the door.
move, but it's definitely a strong move.
It's a
That
power
was
play.
Nick's call, and I respect his decision.
He goes, Pete, kick people in the face with your sound.
Sure. We'll do what we can. We'll do the
Thrash
best we
them till
can.
they're dead.
That's the plan.
So if I'm correct, this week will be the 5th year anniversary of Bloodletter.
That is correct.
That's
Woo!
very cool.
Been
Happy
around.
anniversary.
Round of applause
Round
for
of
Bloodletter, you
applause.
guys.
been a band now for 5 years.
That's exciting.
That's very
And
cool.
still going very strong.
I certainly hope so. It's been a long, strange journey from shooting our first set of promo photos in our drummer's like forested backyard and jumping over a bonfire and
Well, you're in a
watching
band with a
that-
bunch of strange people. So.
That is true. Like our original lead guitarist Jason and Tanner decided to play Wisest Wizard that night and had staves, like wizard staff out of cans that were maybe like 16 and 17 beers long, and we were jumping over a bonfire that Zach's dad threw, recycled motor oil on to get it started. What a great way to kick off the band. And we've been really fortunate. I'm really proud of the progress we've made as a band. Being able to play all over the country. Independently releasing a few EPs, our first full length back in March. We're still writing a ton of music. We're looking forward to playing a bunch of shows in 2019, and we're really, hitting our creative stride where we can let our goofy personality kind of come through, but still make creative and professional, content, but not be at all uptight about anything, because that's just not who we are.
Metal's supposed to be
Right.
fun and
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yes.
And you bring both. You
We
bring
try.
entertainment,
Full
you're
metal
fun.
experience.
Oh, there it is again. Damn.
Drink.
Yeah.
Why?
Fantastic. Drink again.
Why have I'm like the only one who hasn't been able to do that yet. I've teed you both up to
I
drop
know.
that, your own show's title.
Oh my God.
And I've been the
It's so
the
good.
setup.
Shameless
Yeah.
self-promotion.
I've
can
been
only
the
go so
alley-oop
much.
guy.
Alley-oop.
I'm the fluffer.
There it
and I
is.
get no
I mean,
due.
you were drinking out of a mug with the word cum on it. So
That's part of the word scumbag, mind you. It actually says scumbag, but if you orient the mug properly, it shows
of
what's
course.
up.
Of course.
For sure.
Yup.
Sure.
Keeping it classy. That's what we do.
The bloodletter motto.
More bloodletter questions, John?
Oh yeah.
Anything?
So,
What you got?
so what would you say personally, just for you? What would you say your favorite moment being in Bloodletter would be?
Oh, crap.
Personally.
See, I told you he was a professional.
Favorite moment? Like,
Yep.
that could include, like, shenanigans when we weren't even playing a show.
Sure.
That could mean a show. I gotta say, so as far as shows go, we, right before Pat, our new lead guitarist, he's the newest member of the band. He's been in the band 2 years now, but right before he made his show debut with us, he came and ran merch because he was still recovering from a surgery, so he couldn't like load in, load out, or handle the stress of playing. So he came to the Riot Fest after party show that we played as a trio, Tanner, Zach, and I, and that was opening for DRI at
That's
Reggie's.
insane.
Wow.
And it was
okay.
a sold out show, and we opened it, and that was like we were like, oh, we're the nobody on the bill, and people went batshit crazy. It was awesome. Like, we had pits, we had a good time, people were running around, sold a ton of merch, and just met a bunch of really cool new people who were like, oh, I'd never heard of you guys before. Thanks for not sucking. Like, thank you for being good. And we were shocked. Just like the positive feedback we got from that show was great. And then playing Reggie's again back in July, we opened for Havoc, which was really fun. And I could not believe the response we got. I mean, they opened the door. We just finished our line check, maybe 15 minutes before they were opening the door. And there were over 350 people in that place by the time we started playing. And the response was great. And those shows were fantastic. Playing, shows at like the Fallout or Livewire or our first show at Elbow Room. Like, just those are all really great memories as far as shows go. But personally for me, if I had to pick one, it's got to be when I finished writing the majority of the stuff for our Darkest Reaches EP. Okay. And Pat and Tanner came up to the city where, we're recording at the Death Trap, which is where we've done all of our stuff. Tanner had really pushed me to write a lot of lyrics that, that were memorable, but in order for me to do that, they had to be personal. So I was having a really weird couple of months, just like, before finishing that EP. And then, fortune had smiled upon me. And for about, 6 months, I was in, I'd just gotten into a really healthy and awesome relationship with my still and awesome girlfriend, Jen. Pat had joined the band and had been a really great, just jolt of creativity. But there was still a lot of like unprocessed and unfigured shit from previous stuff, and I'd just been in a weird spot, and so Tanner has this, like, I don't know if he knows he's doing it, but he has a knack for pushing you to be better. And he'll probably deny this violently if he hears this, or if I thank him again, he'll be so pissed off. But he pushed me to really put the most energy and like ability into recording vocals for that record. And I think that was when we really hit our stride as songwriters, because I wrote a lot of that EP, but those guys, without them, like, Tanner wrote the opening lick for Into the Void, the opening track on that EP. Pat contributed all of these slick little guitar leads for The Darkest Reaches and for Event Horizon, the other 2 tracks on that EP. Zach wanted to push his drumming and wrote some really interesting and aggressive parts, and it just kind of like, here's a preview of where the band is going. That moment when I realized, shit, this band is taking a significant step, and I really owe my bandmates for pushing me as a songwriter to get to that point. And without them, like, the full length we released earlier this year, Under the Dark Mark, would not be what it is. So I think that was just like that moment, recording vocals, and then like I finished up and I'm like, holy shit, like this band is now even more real. And like, we're just going to keep going, and we're going to keep doing this and make it the best that we can. So I got to say that. And then Tanner always just being like, nope, you can do better. Nope, nope, nope. Pete, that stunk. Nope, do it again. Nope. Just his relentless, blunt delivery of, Pete, do it again. That's trash.
You can do better.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
He'd just be like, boo, delete, do it again.
That's what I
needed.
That's the best kind of trait that a band member can have. That's like the best thing you can ask for, is a member that wants to push you to be your very best.
Yeah, and Tanner just has this way about him, this delivery, this attitude, where it's just like, fuck, you make me so mad, but I know it's coming from a really great place. I'm just not gonna get mad. I'm gonna get mad at myself and then just bottle it up and save it for the next take.
So when the voice in your head happens, is it Tanner?
Is Tanner your conscious?
Is he in your conscious?
Well, so you
when
know how
hear
some
his
people have
voice?
like a good conscience, like there's the little angel and the
I
devil.
was gonna say,
good conscience,
yeah.
like good and bad. There's Zach on one side saying, I don't care. And he's not the bad conscious or the good conscious. Zach is just like, I don't care. He's right there. He's the middle ground. And then there's Tanner, who's not a bad or good conscious, and he's just like, I don't care.
So Tanner is the devil, is what you're saying.
They're both the devil, but they're also amazing friends. And then Pat is just kind of like swimming around in the middle of it.
Hey guys, I'm here.
And Pat just kind of will do his, like, you know, his
what I
thing
can
and
do.
just shred and write really cool riffs. And then out of nowhere, he's just like, because he's the goat man.
He makes goat noise.
Because he's the goat man. And I think we all thrive under the pressure of, if we don't deliver good music, Pat's just
So
going to...
Pat's secretly the devil because he's like...
He's
what's
going to
his
murder
face
you and
from
wear
The
your
Witch.
skin, because he's Black Phillip from The Witch.
Black Phillip. We've had this talk, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
if-
can see it when I look at him. There's just this vibe.
There's
like,
a-
there's
Such a
like
good
red
movie, though.
eyes
It's
that
a
I see
great
sometimes.
movie.
There's horns
Yeah, like if you dream of Pat, he's running you down
in a goat
with riffs
form. Yeah.
in goat form.
It's scary.
And then he wears your skin and
I've
you're
had
gone.
I've had
right?
this nightmare. I think it was last night too.
Just a
terrible.
recurring nightmare.
Get out of my head, Patrick.
Well, so you know what? Maybe it's time for another twofer then, and we can celebrate
agree.
Pat's
Goatness.
goatness with a song that he wrote for the full length.
Boz not added only when you do it.
Right.
So we're gonna play
only when we.
Bloodletter. Can I pick the other one?
Yeah. So we've got. Let me just cross off this list. What we've already played. We've got those bands. They've been played. They have been played. This is what happens when you do a podcast live. You don't remember stuff because you're having such a good time.
Well, you're still recording it. I mean,
yeah, we're still recording.
I didn't know we went
going.
live except for Facebook Live.
I mean, we're
but
doing
it's
this
great
live.
that he has the notes and I'm just sitting here going la la la.
So
la.
I mean, John, if you want, I mean, we got Without Waves. We got Huntsman.
Oh, he's got his list.
yeah.
Don't
we
worry.
got
He's
Snow
prepared
Burial,
on his
and we got
end.
Meth. I don't know who, and Immortal Bird. I don't know
So
who you wanna
much
play.
math, guys. There's
So
so
much.
much math here.
So much.
Okay, so we're gonna
And it has
play.
begun.
We're gonna play Bloodletter, and then we're gonna play Prosthetic Records Band Without Waves.
Perfect. Love it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Twofer.
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 What?
Praise Goat Man.
In total darkness, I heard a voice that called unto me. Stopped dead in my tracks, sweat upon my face, as I knew not what that was. Suddenly, it leapt from the shadows, a great hulking beast, and all I could feel was my life fade into nothingness. No saving grace as I look back.
You okay there? You okay, John?
That
Breathe.
ending.
Sounds like a brick just hit him
did.
in the chest.
That was
It
crazy.
might have happened.
I need a minute. That was intense.
So intense. You chose it. What did we hear?
That was awesome, what we just heard. But that was Phantasmal Killer from Bloodletter. And,
Praise Goat Man.
oh yes, and Victorian Punishment from Without Waves.
Yeah.
Look at that. He did that better than I did. He had the track names where I just said, this is who we heard. He's
I
on
mean,
top of it.
You know,
I'm getting replaced. Tuesday's episode, John's going to learn Broard. He's going to be hanging with DeVille with Luco, and I'm taking a Tuesday off. That's how that's going to go.
you can just hang out.
Yeah,
I could
that's
just
what's
hang out.
gonna happen.
I don't have to do shit anymore. I found my replacement and
You
I'm
can
done.
shotgun another cupcake and have one of those tequila rose shots
was
that we brought
awesome.
you for your birthday.
I have to say, the Bloodletter birthday episode was probably one of my favorite episodes.
We specifically chose your birthday so we could be
That's
even
amazing.
more obnoxious.
I love it. It was great.
That was
It
a fun
great.
time.
I got cupcakes. I got to choose my own alcoholic beverage shot.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
to make Tanner super pissed at me.
That was probably the most entertaining part because, like,
It was great.
like the original
He
goal.
was so angry.
The original point of that whole episode was
I thought we were going to.
let's talk about the record.
I
let's
thought we
talk
were
about
seriously going to have a fight on air.
right.
because
Like,
he was so
let's be
angry.
professional and talk about the record and talk about the Metal Experience show and talk about all
But
this.
secretly, we had been talking ahead of time of this is how we're going to make fun of.
Were
Tanner.
we though? Because that
We
might
were.
not have been me.
No.
That might not have been me. That could have been Pat. That
It
could have been anybody.
It could have been. But
If
we were
anybody's
talking
gonna-
about this is what we're going to do because
It's Tanner, and I love
Tanner.
him to death.
I do. And I still think of him every single time I hear Smash Mouth.
Well, I mean, as you do, but I mean,
I literally will find something and be like, oh my God, Tanner, they were playing Smash Mouth. I thought of you. And it's hilarious.
well, the thing is too is like it was an unintentional reference to Harry Potter, and
Yeah.
like I'd written the track and thought like, oh, that would be a cool title for the record.
Mm-hmm.
And then people reviewed it and were like, oh, this might be a nod to Bathory, like
Mm-hmm.
Under the Sign of the Dark Mark, you know. And then Zach, Pat, and I were just like, you mean like that Harry Potter shit though? And I was like, uh-oh. But the three of us were at band practice because I think Tanner was working or something had come up and, you know, he couldn't make it. And so the three of us were jamming and we're having a beer after practice. And we had this realization when we were trying to figure out what to call the record. And then all of us just kind of said, nobody tell Tanner. Nobody tell Tanner because he'll get so mad. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. And then we decided to spill the beans on that show.
It was great.
And that was the first he'd heard of it.
He was so
And we were like less than a month away from releasing the record, so we couldn't change it. We already had the record
man.
duplicated to CD. We had merch printed. That was it.
It was great.
So yes,
I even wrote
That might be my
a
favorite
fake,
moment
A
in
fake
Bloodletter.
mock-up
Okay, we're gonna change
review
that.
in Harry Potter form of reviewing.
you called us
Under the-
Wizard Thrash.
I did call you Wizard.
And we all love wizards because like Gandalf's
great.
cool and
Oh, man.
all that shit. And
I
Saruman
deliberately
and-
wrote a fake review
Harry
though
Potter.
as a Harry Potter reference, and then posted the real one afterwards. But they're both on the website under reviews from the crypt because it was all in good fun.
That was
It was great.
That was pretty great.
It was a lot of fun writing it because I was like, this is hilarious. I'm gonna keep it short and simple, but enough to piss Tanner off even more.
That's
That was my intention of
best
like,
part.
I'm gonna keep this going. I'm glad he doesn't hate me. That was
No.
a really fun episode though.
No,
And then
I'm-
we kept. I know that it was off Harry Potter theme, but there was something that you kept telling me to tell him. Why am I forgetting it? To call him out on. That was making him so upset because he's like, "How do you know about this?" And I was,
it.
"Who told you?" And it was Pat.
Was it? Oh man, I'm not even gonna be able to remember now. I think
We're gonna
like,
have to go back and listen.
We're gonna have
it.
to go back and listen to it because there were a number of setups.
There was, and he's like, "How do you fucking know this?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm a wizard.
Yeah, you did kept saying it's witchcraft. I don't
It's
know.
witchcraft. It's a mystery. It all goes back to it." You can hear those episodes. All of Bloodletter's been on a couple times with us on the metalexperience.com underneath the past guests. They're great. Fantastic. Drink! Great episodes. Always a blast. Definitely awesome people that I always look forward to having an episode with. Can't wait for the next one.
You know, in editing this video,
There's
we need
never.
to-
We're Facebook Live. There's no editing. Maybe on this one if I can get it to go.
On
But
that
we need
one.
to count how many times you've actually said the word fantastic.
We
I
should.
don't know. I don't know.
I know
lost track.
it's in double digits.
It probably
at
is.
least. It has to be.
You know what sucks is when you're creating posts and you're trying to think of new things, how to phrase things after you realize that you've used so much of your vocabulary that in my world is super limited because I'm not super smart. That I'm just like,
Fantastic is a
what
good word,
words
though.
can I
Not
use in
be-
10? Phenomenal, amazing. Amazing and awesome is two of those words that I always feel like I
Can
overuse.
we just you spoke negatively of yourself?
I did, and I mean
that's
it.
not allowed in this house.
Okay.
This is a no negativity
No
zone.
negative zone.
No.
Okay.
This is a no
I'll tone it down.
negativity zone. This is a positivity palace. Once you enter, you are royalty and you are good to yourself.
Why don't you have that on a fucking
Because
wall
I
art?
just thought of it. I just
No
thought of it. That's
negativity.
why I
Dude,
don't have it on
write
the wall.
this
the window.
shit down. You need to get this framed and posted in your house. I love it. He doesn't
going to
even
write it
probably
down.
remember what he said, but that's
I
perfect.
said it's a positivity palace.
I love
This
it.
is a no negativity
yes.
zone.
Yes, this is great. Please make me a copy of whatever you print. I need to hang this up. This is awesome.
Fantastic.
See, Pete's a genius. This is
I would
this is
not
why,
go that far.
Perfect.
I just live a lifestyle dedicated to having maximum fun. That's all I
Absolutely.
care about.
Damn it, I say that a lot too. I can't fucking stop. Part of it is this delicious drink that you made me, and realizing now they got drink water so I can sober up to get to whatever else I'm doing tonight.
You
So
have 2 drinks going here.
I do. One of them is water to sober me up. It's perfect. Well, let's talk about, once again, the reason why we're here. We're here to promote and support Forever Deaf Fest 2018, December 7th and 8th at the Beat Kitchen
Yes.
with 12. God damn it, I want to say fantastic.
Say rad.
You can keep going.
But I said it anyway, so
Rad.
drink.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Yeah, excellent choices of performances. Obviously, something like this isn't easy to put together.
Nope.
What have been some of the challenges? See, I'm trying to make this sound super important here. What are some of the challenges or say obstacles that have come in your way
That you've had
of
to
creating
overcome?
such an event? Dun dun dun.
Pause for dramatic effect. That's, I think, anytime you're putting together an event or a show, like if you treat it just like a normal show, right? You have multiple bands, lots of personalities, equipment, logistics, how do things sound? How is it getting promoted? How does the flyer look? How is your social media outreach, which is becoming more and more critical to the success of anything, let alone any new project, endeavor, and so forth. But probably the most significant thing, I think, was just sitting down, Nick and I, and deciding the lineup so that way we could really have a blended, like different variety of subgenres blended together and have it still be cohesive and decide who played when and make sure that we included something for everybody.
Okay.
But, it's like we announced the fest. We did announce the lineup for a few months. And we were flattered to get asked by other bands that we did not have on this year's lineup who had asked, can we play? Can we play? Can we play? That's awesome. And believe me, like we've kept a list of the other bands that have asked us to play, and we're already looking into 2019 so that way we can make sure we include everybody. The problem is, though, it's like, how do you pick from a number of people submitting their band for these
Right.
fests? So I think that might be the most difficult part, is just like picking like who's going to play, when they're going to play, and why should we play, like have them play the fest. And it's like, look, I'm going to sit here right now. Yes, I am a co-founder. Yes, my band is opening day one. Would I have been completely fine with us not playing? Absolutely, because I believe in the project. But Nick basically, like, without putting me at gunpoint, basically put me at, I'll call it emotional gunpoint. He, just kind of like looked at me and said, you're playing.
You don't have a choice.
That was pretty much it. Like, I didn't have a choice. And then I texted my bandmates, and all of them were like, wait, a
playing?
fest? What is this? And then I told them what it was, and they're like, fuck yeah, like we should play that. So then I was like, okay, well, all right, Nick got his way and my bandmates are very happy about it. So this is cool. I think just, like deciding who played, when they played, and then deciding how to approach the people we needed to. And then fortunately, I don't know why, but everybody just said yes, which was great. So I was like, what do we have to be worried about? Like, what's the worst somebody can say? No? But nobody said no. Which
Not a
Isn't it
single band said
amazing,
no.
though, like when it comes to questions like that, how scared you are of a negative response?
Right.
Like, I've had that feeling, too, when I've booked shows, and the worst that's happened is, I'm sorry, we want to play, but we got something else booked. But you're right. There is a plentiful of bands to choose from in the Chicago area where you could have easily picked somebody to substitute for who you were trying to ask.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the amount of bands that have reached out to us is staggering and flattering and awesome. And that kind of excitement for it really does showcase, like, maybe people are believing in this already. Maybe people really want this to succeed already. Let's make sure we give them what they're hoping for and expecting. So we need to make sure that we make it the best we can.
It definitely helps to have the bands believing in it first, though.
Oh, yeah.
The bands
Yeah.
that want to be a part of it, that are so into wanting to promote and to eagerly participate in this before you've even started to promote it,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
That-
And that's definitely something that helps you out is that the bands are willing to be so much a part of it that's what's going to help you get your draw.
Yeah. I could not agree more.
And you also have a lot of bands that don't play out as often. I mean, you have November's Doom that play a handful of festivals every year, but you don't see a lot of these bands frequently. So when you do get to see them, it's like, you better see them now because you don't know when the next date that you're going to see them on is.
That's why we're really proud of the lineup we have. We're getting bands that play often. We're getting bands that play less often or play Chicago less often. And as long as we have that lineup that gets people's attention, then we've done our job. And if people come to the show and have a great time, that's all that matters. That's really the whole plan. Give people something that they will enjoy and remember.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It sounds like the whole thing is like coming together like clockwork.
Yeah,
it
it's been
sounds
a lot
perfect.
of frantic text messages and calls and meetings between Nick and I over the last 8 months, but we always end up leaving, our meetings, he and I, just feeling good about it. And obviously, we're still, going to be sweating bullets until the day of the first show, just because we want this to go off without a hitch, and we're confident that it can. I mean, any live event can have a hiccup. Anything can happen, but as long as, everybody is, they're on time, everybody's healthy, everybody's happy, the bands have a good time playing. I mean, really, I couldn't ask for more. I don't think anybody could. So
Yeah.
I'll make sure that at least Nick and I don't fuck anything up.
Go over the details a little bit. We haven't touched base on this. We've already said December 7th and 8th and the 2-day pass ticket prices, but times, ages, what are we looking at for these dates?
So Forever Deaf, if I'm not mistaken, is a 17 plus show. It's going to be at Beat Kitchen, December 7th and 8th. It's the Beat Kitchen. Like, that place sounds awesome. They have a great group of people who do sound and hospitality staff. I mean, just
Keyword kitchen, there is delicious food
yeah,
to eat there too.
they've got it all. They've got it all at this place, and it's
very intimate.
yeah, there's no barrier.
No.
Like, there's no massive lighting production. There's no huge stage. It's like if you're up front, you're right there. So it makes for a really cool experience. It's 17 plus, so everybody is I mean, like if you're a teenager, you're into metal and you want to come to the show, you can. If you're, you know, in your 30s, it doesn't matter. Any age group, you're welcome to come to the show. You know, there's like you brought up, great food at Beat Kitchen, awesome bar. You know, we're gonna have, you know, beer specials and all that, I'm sure. You know, the sound is going to be cohesive and loud and clean because that room is great. And thanks to the Shure sponsorship, you know, I'm getting a whole set of mics for the entire back line. So everything can be just done, mic'd up, everything's ready to go, just fire and forget. And the venue being where it is really does play into the community vibe a bit. It's Roscoe Village. It's a neighborhood of families, you know, cool places to eat, cool places to go and see. And it's right in the center of the north side of the city. So it's like, it's easy to get to. And it's going to be a lot of fun to have it at a venue that only holds 300 people. Like, it'll be intimate.
It's more intimate like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's like, if you can be close to the band, if you can feel what they're doing, see, hear all of it, and it doesn't cost $1 million to go get a bleacher seat, you know, like a Wrigley Field show or like an arena tour or something like that. You're getting all of these bands. You're right there. You know, why not? And you know, for anybody listening, get your tickets soon because, you know, we're coming up quick. You know, we can't guarantee that there's going to be tickets day of. We can't. Like, we genuinely don't know. So if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, I'm not just saying this for marketing because I don't know the numbers. I genuinely don't. I've claimed to Nick I don't want to know numbers because that's one dimension that I cannot concern myself with. Because it'll consume me. Because I want you.
Right.
Everybody, you want success. You want numbers. You want more people in the door. You want more
And
tickets
it
sold.
stresses you out when you know
and
what
it
you're
stresses
looking
you
at,
out
yeah.
if you think about it too much. You're missing the fun and the exciting aspects of this project. So no, just get your tickets. If you haven't already, get them. And we'd love to see you there. We'd love to hear what you think about the show. You know, the fest in its entirety, the pre-party, the 2 main days, just come and see all of these bands and support Chicago metal.
So you said 2-day passes are $35.
$35.
And then for a single day pass for Friday is how much?
It's 20,
And for Saturday?
25.
Awesome. The pre-party at Livewire is free if you have the 2-day festival pass.
Yep. And it's $10 at the door if you don't.
And $10 at the door. That's easy.
$10 for 4
You can
bands.
get 3 shows
Come
for the
on.
price of 1.
Yep.
You can choose to go to the pre-show and just pay $10, or you could pay 20 or 25. That's
Yeah.
very reasonable.
Yeah. We don't like huge ticket prices. We don't want it to be like, you know, a massive fest where you have to pay $80, $90, $100 a day. You know,
Yeah,
even
exactly.
if we had massive bands, I don't think we could like even more like if somebody's just like, hey, Judas Priest wants to play your fest. What? That's obviously like the biggest dream ever. You'd need Allstate Arena to house that
Right.
shit. And yet we would probably still say, guys, can we not charge $50? Can we charge less than that?
And the money that they're paying for goes to the bands, goes to what you
I mean,
guys
like,
have put together.
Nick and I
Right.
started this not to line our pockets. This
No.
is to literally, our goal is break even. Make sure the bands are paid, make sure the venue is paid, make sure security, everybody is paid for their time. And Nick and I have a show for everybody to enjoy. That's our payout. Nick and I don't want to walk away from this.
Real people doing real things.
Cash. Like, we don't want to walk out with, bags of money on our shoulders, like little, robbers and thieves and shit.
Yeah, that's the
Because that's the
beautiful-
cartoon visual that I always thought of. It's just like, what do I want to get out of this? No, I don't want that. I want people to have a great time and grow this into an event where everybody can just be a part of it. That's more rewarding than earning money.
That's nice. The overall beautiful goal of this is to just bring recognition to local music. in
Celebrate
Chicago.
what makes Chicago metal great.
and that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I don't know. It just, all of this happy, positive thinking makes me want to celebrate 2 more bands.
And
though.
I want to go cry in a corner with happiness. Let's go play some more music while I can unleash the
all of these
overwhelming
emotions.
emotions that I'm having right now.
Well, so Morgan, we have 4 more bands.
we do.
And maybe you should pick this twofer. We've got Immortal Bird, Huntsman, Snow Burial, and Meth. Pick 2.
I definitely want to play a band off of each day. So
Okay.
I want to go with our great friends in Snoop Dogg.
Snoop
Snoop Dogg.
What?
Oh man, if Snoop
Become
Dogg
a
was
Duff
playing
Rap
Forever Deaf,
Fest.
I would.
Duff Jam Productions sponsoring next year.
Oh, please make my dreams come true.
Fuck. Snow Burial.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal. We've
Okay.
known these guys for quite a while now. And then I want to hear the Huntsman. They're coming up on our show. I
Nice.
think. Oh my God, my phone is all the way over
Didn't
there.
you say it was like March
Live
that they're
feed.
coming up?
I'm pretty sure it's March.
Okay.
It's on the Metal Experience page. I'm pretty sure. They were awesome. They hit us up after Varaha was on our show going, hey, we want a part of this. And it was so funny when we received the message on our... Luco gets all these updates on his phone. And of course, I respond to pretty much all the messages because Luco's just like, hey, did you read this? And I'm like, yeah, obviously. But he's like, oh my God, you need to reply to these guys. They're on Prosthetic Records. You got to act on this fast. And I'm like, okay, chill out, dude. Like, I've got it. Don't worry. I thought it was
It'll
awesome that they
happen.
reached out to
It'll
us
happen.
wanting to be on, that they really liked the Varaha episode. So it was exciting to get to hear from them and to get them on an upcoming episode. And then it worked out perfectly because they're obviously playing your fest. And I was like, wow, we've got Varaha that just had been on our show and they were talking about it a few months back. And then Zayas came on and we're able to say, hey, we're a part of this too. But then to also have the Huntsman after we get to see them on Forever Deaf Fest. It's like that post-show interview of, we know when we've met you guys, now let's get to know you better.
Yeah.
It worked full circle even on our end about this. It was fucking awesome.
Fantastic.
Drink. That's a twofer.
I mean,
All right, that's
but
what I got.
if you think about it, though, it's like you didn't just get the bands reaching out to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't just have them on, but wouldn't you say it was a real?
Fantastic. What? Drink again.
It wasn't a real fantastic metal experience.
Oh my God. Yes.
Circular.
That's what I love.
No,
Yeah.
we all love it. So yeah, we'll do some Snow Burial, and then we'll do some.
dust, give me death. Fill my lungs with blackness. Scratch my wounds with sighing breath. Send me to the mines again. Roll a grave into a hole.
guys, you just heard Price to Pay by Snow Burial and Canary King from Huntsman.
This dude's a pro. I'm telling you.
He's a
He sounds
pro.
like we're on college radio.
Just put
I
him
love
in.
it.
Put him
He's
in.
got that perfect radio voice.
Put him in,
like
coach.
my voice.
Yeah,
My radio voice.
I love it.
Welcome to
Welcome to.
John
Oh, yes.
McKenna Metal Hour.
This is my
Here on
time.
Sundays.
Yeah,
Hello.
see, it's got a ring to it.
We can make it happen.
Oh, yes.
Well, we have been chilling all Sunday afternoon at Pete from Bloodletter, co-founder of Forever Deaf Fest's little humble abode in the
Yeah.
city today. I do want to thank you for having us out and for doing this bonus episode with us to
Thank
help
you
promote
for
the festival.
having a episode for us.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
Thank you
I
all
love
around.
every opportunity that comes our way for helping promote festivals like this or anything that is going to have a awesome outcome to it that I have faith in. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
You're just
I'm
happy
just
to be
rambling.
here.
I am very happy to
You're
be here.
happy to
this
be
is
here.
awesome.
We're all happy
I was
to be
so
here.
pumped driving here going, this is going to be great. Fantastic. Drink.
Drink.
Damn it. I mean, fantastic.
Drink.
Can we have a counter for how many times you've actually said that?
I'm gonna have to go back and watch
I will go
these
back
live
and
feeds.
listen to this.
I'm going to guess that
Oh, my
we've
God.
said it as a collective.
I'll set the line at
Bottom
25 and a
right
half.
of the
25 and a
screen.
half.
25
I
and a
started
half.
saying it and then I cut myself
The
off.
over,
Oh, yeah.
no, the over under is
over-under.
25 and a half.
I probably say 32.
So
and
you're
I'll
going
probably
over.
say it a few more times
You're
before
going over.
the
I'm
end
going to
of
go in
this.
between. We
In
got
between.
29 and a half. Fantastic.
Somebody listen
That one didn't
back
count.
to what we've done so far on this live feed videos and tell us.
All
Maybe
right.
if you come out to February Deaf Fest and
can
if you
tell
tell me
us.
that you were the one that listened to the episode of how many times I've said it, what word? Listen back and find out.
There we go.
And maybe I'll give you a prize.
Maybe I'll give you a
Maybe
prize.
I'll give you a prize. It's a
see.
surprise, so
It's a
find out.
surprise. It's a surprise.
yeah. we'll leave it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
So recap on all of these wonderful bands that we have on this festival.
Rewind.
I love the reverb on this. I'm probably not hearing
Isn't
it
it
in
nice?
like the actual recording, but the way that it sounds in my ears is so fancy.
Well,
sounds very
it's
nice.
it's the room acoustics.
I love it.
Having an apartment with high ceilings and bare walls really does brighten your recordings.
It's amazing.
That does sound like marketing spiel, but that's totally true.
We need a picture in front of the awesome fireplace before this is over.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, we need.
I mean, I've got a tripod. We can take a picture.
I mean, that's the fireplace seen in the infamous Bloodletter Kickstarter ad and in playthrough videos
is
and
it?
in the beer release photos. Like,
I seriously going
have a
off of
fireplace.
all these-
It's classy
yeah,
as
right.
fuck.
But the way that you guys promote your band and the way that you've done Forever Death Fest is just spectacular. See, changing it up. I didn't say it. I said spectacular.
Very good.
Begin a new
So-
count for how many times she says spectacular.
Damn it. No, I'm not going to keep saying that word instead. It's a one-time only appearance.
It's a one-time chance.
But your creativity and the way that you go about making sure it's entertaining is awesome. And I always get a laugh after seeing your pictures or your videos and how professional they look, but at the same time they're goofy and they really
They're personal.
are something to
Yeah,
remember.
It's like what the music we make is serious. Why the fuck do we have to be serious making it though? You do it seriously. You put your effort into it. But if you're not having fun, why the fuck are you doing it?
Then you're
Exactly.
missing
That's the whole
right
point.
there.
Yes.
That's the whole point. So, I mean, that's like Bloodletter in a nutshell. We're serious to a point. Like
We're semi-serious.
semi-serious.
So Forever Deaf Fest, once again, December 7th and 8th at the Beat
Beat
Kitchen
Kitchen.
in Chicago. Want to constantly say that as many times as possible. You guys have some merch available for those that attend the show, and they're limited quantities.
Yeah, that's
So
very
what's
limited.
available for people to purchase?
Well, so we're
Well.
gonna have a few shirts, limited shirts, very limited release, thanks to Mike at Modest Merch. We have a few being worn by the lovely ladies and babes and gentlemen at Kuma's Corner.
Woo!
So they're helping us by promoting. with delicious food and happy smiles and tattooed people all over the place. And then we've got a limited quantity left. Can I tell you what that quantity is?
No, because you don't like
Because I
numbers.
genuinely don't know, and I don't like numbers. They're not my friend. But we will have a few of those left. We've got Shure Incorporated. They're doing a product giveaway through the fest. So if you've bought tickets, you are already entered in a chance to win
What?
one of 4 prizes from Shure. We've got a Super 55 blackout edition where it's matte black with black windscreen.
That's sexy.
I know we've got our little stereo iOS mic, the MV88, that you can plug into your phone and shoot something in full stereo.
Whoa.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then we've got some Bluetooth earphones as well from the company. So if you've bought a ticket,
Sure's
you are-
just hooking it up.
Yeah, I was very surprised that they agreed to sponsor it, and I'm very happy that
This is
they are.
for sure an awesome experience.
Oh,
Great prizes
Wow.
for sure.
yeah. Oh, as John groans. John groans.
I'm an embarrassing person. I'll say it. I know.
But
Felt
yeah,
that one.
so we've got some product giveaways. If you bought tickets, you're automatically entered, and if you are interested in coming out to the fest, tickets aren't going to last long, so get them while you can.
They're on Ticketfly, correct?
They
Through
are
the
on-
Beat Kitchen website. Anywhere else?
Yeah, I think it's through Beat Kitchen. It's through Ticketfly.
I know the links are on Forever Death Fest.
It's Ticket Web, actually. I always
Ticket
get those
Web?
confused.
Ticket-
It's Ticket
I
Web.
know. It's
but
confusing.
It's through Ticket Web, and it's at Beat Kitchen as well. And if you find us on social media, you can easily find links to get 2-day passes, 1 and 2 day tickets
We've
as well.
shared this link as well, so if you go to past Facebook posts by us, it is in our previous posts.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's
I
all
promoted
there.
it.
You'll I mean, even if you don't try very hard, you are going to find something about this
Yeah,
fest
Forever Death
somewhere.
Fest on Google will take you right there too.
Probably.
Oh, and that's the dinner bell.
Is
What
it?
have we got cooking?
I don't know
Peter?
what is going on with my computer, but what do we have cooking? I think we have
What have
another.
we got cooking?
We've got another twofer.
We do,
We
and
do.
this is the last 2 tracks to end the night. We are wrapping it up. So really quickly, I want to stress on buying your tickets in advance
Soon.
for Forever Death Fest. You got to remember this is a 2-day festival where you've got 12 amazing Chicago bands playing.
And that is December 7th and 8th.
Yes. He's gonna repeat everything I say
Da-da-da.
just to make it sink in.
Just so you know.
There we go. See, he's saying just 2, so it's already taking place.
We're taking care of it.
Yes. But this is an opportunity to see a festival grow to help promote something that we hope to see next year as well. And you get an opportunity to see a large variety of different genres. It's not something that is repetitive. Not that repetitiveness is a bad thing, but it's a lot of bands that don't get out there
variety.
as often
a little
as
bit
a
of
lot
everything.
of other locals. So we want to make sure we can support, promote, and be there to watch this festival grow. So Forever Death Fest, we will be there. You should be there. Pre-show is at Livewire Lounge
That is
December 6th
Yes,
with right now announced Repentance and Armored Assault.
correct.
Already 2 solid acts. And when are those other couple bands going to be announced to make us even more
The
excited?
mystery bands.
Yes, mystery bands.
So I got to run that by Nick, but I expect we'll have those announced within the next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay. And then look forward to, there's a couple YouTube promos going to be coming out
Yep,
within
those
the
will be
next
hitting
week.
social media in the next couple of days.
And be sure to look up all these awesome acts. Everybody that is playing definitely should be listened to beforehand. Even if you can't make it, definitely check these out. John, why don't you give us a rundown? Who's playing this festival?
We have a lot of awesome bands. So we have November's Doom on day 1. This is all day 1. So we have November's Doom, Immortal Bird, What, Resin, Snow Burial, and Bloodletter. And this is all day 1. So just right off the bat, day 1 is going to be awesome. And then day 2, brought to you by Prosthetic Records, we have The Atlas Moth, Without Waves, Zaius, Huntsman, Varaha, and Meth.
Oh, so good.
all together just is going to be awesome.
It's gonna
Solid
wreck your
2
necks.
days at the Beat Kitchen, just full of music for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, we hope to see you there. Just come on through. Let's just hang out and celebrate the best Chicago's got to offer for its metal scene.
And we do have another episode coming this Tuesday with DeVille. We're going to be back at Fitz's Bear Keys in Elmhurst, 8 p.m. till about 10:30, 11. We met them on GenFest back in March. It's going to be a great time. They're opening for Veil Maya at the Bottom Lounge December 21st, so you can buy tickets off of them or our other friends in Victims and El Famous. And tonight, for those going to be at the Bottom Lounge, you'll see me hanging out with Contra, Tanzan, Raven Black, Ginger, and Devil Driver with my
yes.
friend Nikki Presta. So that'll be a good time, going straight from this awesome interview to an awesome show with more fantastic friends.
There it is.
Drink!
There it is. Dang it.
It's been a great bonus episode of the Metal Experience. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
Live footage that we did a Facebook stream. Hopefully I'll be able to get video footage to post on YouTube. But Pete ran the board today, and we've been
Tried
hanging
not to
out
blow it
all
up.
day
Tried not
in
to blow it
Pete's
up.
awesome apartment. And John, thank you so much for coming out and joining me to replace Luco for today.
yes, of
It was
course.
great. First time meeting John. And,
First
and he
time
was
is already a ringer.
He was amazing.
He's
a natural.
He's a natural. Put him
See?
in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Put him in, coach.
This is why John's on our team as one of our writers. He's
You guys are too kind.
professional. He's a great writer, great
Just
musician.
being
So
positive, John. Just being positive.
themetalexperience.com, we've got a ton of awesome interviews, reviews, recorded episodes with a ton of amazing past guests. So check out our website, check out Forever Death Fest, and we've got 2 tracks to end the night from the last bands playing,
Yeah, we've got 2 for featuring Immortal Bird and Meth to
which
bring down
Immortal
the house.
Bird is female fronted too. Fucking amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the last 2 bands, we played all 12 bands playing on this episode. That should give you an even bigger push to get tickets now.
Yeah. So we hope to see you there, guys. And Morgan, John, thanks for.
It's been fantastic.
Drink! Oh, see?
I was hoping
See?
we'd make
it's
it
caught on.
one more, I guess. But again, thank you for having the fest as a feature for the.